Welcome, my dear. In today's video, we are going to address and heal ancestral trauma. It is also called generational trauma. Before I start, I'm going to explain to you some of the reasons, signs, and symptoms so you can decide for yourself if you might be dealing with ancestral trauma. Now, here is the main question. What is ancestral trauma? Well, just like the name says, ancestral trauma is trauma that we have inherited through our ancestors. And that does not mean just by DNA. It is also passed down emotionally. There are many types of PTSD and trauma, but 99% problems humans have is caused by ancestral trauma. And the problem is that people don't know how to address it and how to get cured. Now, I will read you some of the symptoms and causes, and then you can just agree with me and let me know, and I can take some notes. Sounds good? Okay. So, things like child abuse, domestic violence, genocides, combat and war victims or survivors, rape incidents, and child abuse. Those are some of the things that may have happened not to you, not to your mother or father, but to their forefathers. And it keeps coming down from generation through generation. Well, how do we know that we are dealing with that? You might notice that certain things keep happening over and over again. It's like an unbreakable cycle that keeps repeating itself. You might say, well, this certain something happened to my grandmother at that very same age, and that same thing happened to my mother, and now it is happening to me. That could be ancestral trauma. So there are many ways to, predict it or find out if you are a victim of ancestral trauma. You might also be intuitional, gifted, spiritual person. So you might be even having some dreams, significant dreams, where somebody is telling you something. You might feel something. And those things you should not take lightly, because every dream has a meaning. I have a book of dream interpretations, but specifically dreams where you're falling or you see yourself in the water, things like that, or a snake, seeing a dog. Those dreams have to do with past lives or ancestral trauma. Now, I will come to the symptoms. Symptoms are obviously substance abuse, which is very common. And sure, it's also because we share DNA with our parents, and some mothers, unfortunately, take drugs or drink alcohol while they're pregnant, and it comes down to their child. But not every time. Mostly it also happens as an instance. I had a client, and that girl, her father was an alcoholic. She never drank alcohol, she hated it. Then she married a man who turned out to be an alcoholic and reminded her of her father. Whose problem is that? Indeed, she was the one carrying that trauma, that generational curse that came down to her, and she manifested that indirectly into her partner. So it's a curse indirectly. Obviously, our parents don't wish us ill. It just happens, and if it's not healed, if it's not taken care of, it will manifest in another generation over and over again. So, symptoms like substance abuse, right? Fearfulness. If you are scared to take decisions, if you are a very scared person, that could be also ancestral trauma. Having suicidal thoughts, nightmares, like I mentioned, panic attacks, anxiety, and depression, right? Those things are very, very important to notice, because many times it happens and we don't even take it seriously. If a parent is struggling, right, they might not even tell you, but it keeps passing down because you share DNA, and it might even skip a generation or two. Therefore, it's important, it's really crucial to know who in your family, your grandmother or her mother, had a certain sickness, had a certain problem or addiction, or something tragic happened to them. Especially, I know this is a very difficult topic to talk about, but just for the sake of explaining it, people who have, grandparents who were survivors of the genocide or the Holocaust or Vietnam War, horrible things like that manifest in symptoms of fear, and being closed off and having your heart chakra being blocked. Other than that, usually if you are experiencing any type of ancestral trauma, it will be rooted in your root chakra. And the root chakra is our first chakra, alright? And that root chakra, that first chakra, is on the lower part of your body. So every fear, anxiety, depression disorder is usually stored. Any blockage is stored in our lower body part, which is the abdomen area, the lower part, be it for man or woman, it's the same. And we have to be very aware of that. So it's because of the, how our body is made, and all the body parts have a certain meaning, and body tissues restore trauma. They don't let go of it. And once you were part of your mother, you were in her stomach, belly, sorry. And this is why it's really important to keep this in mind, and always be aware of things, and hypersensitive, and just know this could be trauma, this could be that. And don't just give up on yourself, don't give up on other people, family members and friends, because there are reasons. Nobody wants to be left out, nobody wants to be hurt, ignored, and be in a terrible position, So these are the symptoms that I've mentioned. Now let's get into the cleaning part, the cleansing part. You might notice it is getting a little smoky in here. And the reason why is because this is a very intimate practice. It requires a lot of healing and cleansing. And so I have prepared here for us a Palo Santo incense stick. It creates the atmosphere of a ceremony. Before I even started recording this video, I was preparing and getting ready for it. I wanted to make sure that the space is clean, and I transfer to you any positive energy, love, care, and any good feelings, because I send you love, I send you safety, and I hope this will make you feel better. So therefore, we are just gonna smoke this room even more, keeping this in front of the camera so you can feel it. You can maybe not smell it, but you can sure imagine it and visualize it. Channel this positivity, channel this cleaning, nice energy, because we are going to be calling in our ancestors, and no matter if they were good, bad, if you knew them, if you didn't know them, let's just wish them well. Let's just please wish them love and welcome them to help us heal. All right, now the first thing I want to talk to you about is, what is the step of healing from ancestral generational trauma? All right, we could just talk about this for hours and hours because I have read a lot of books. I have healed myself ancestral trauma, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I was also carrying burdens of ancestral baggage, trauma, and I was even able to heal my parents. And you don't even have to tell them, you know, it just happens. It automatically happens when you do the healing. You send them light, love, and no matter what, if they are in this world or in another dimension, it will do its magic. So even if you are child of a refugee, which unfortunately happens to a lot of people because of horrible things that are happening in the world, like war in Ukraine, for example, it creates trauma. And I can't mention this enough, but if you have the means, if you have the money for it or the time, go on YouTube, book a healer. It could be me, it could be anyone else, and start with the healing process. And no matter how old you are, no matter how old your child is, because it is a favor you are doing for yourself and for your generation, for your family. This is a gift, and it's a priceless one. So I had a friend, and she, you know, she is now in her 40s, but she told me that her parents were refugees from India and Pakistan, and they were working. They had to leave. Well, they became refugees, so they had to go to Pakistan from India. And that was like during 1942, I think, 47, I'm not sure. And, you know, a lot of massacre and killings were going on. And some relative, I don't know if it was on her maternal side or the paternal side, but one of her family member was hit really badly by a soldier on his knee, because obviously they were from different religions, different countries, and she witnessed that, and she was at that time like 7, and he had so much pain, and he kept walking and running, but it caused permanent damage on his knee. He lived on to, I think, 20 years, and then he passed away. While he was alive, his daughter, who was my friend's mother, also suddenly out of nowhere started having that same pain, same feeling of getting stabbed and poked in her knee, just like her father. And well, now look at my friend, you know, it's been a few years together. We have been through healing, but before she did the healing process, herself, she was having the same pain as well. So we are talking 3rd generation. Now, ever since she did the healing, and it's not just one session, you have to keep on going and do it obviously customized. Now she has no more pain, and she didn't have to go to the doctors or anything. So that is one of many examples. Now, how do we do the healing? Well, first step is to become aware. Be aware, listen to all the symptoms. You can even do your own research, things I have told you, and just doing this video and you watching it could be a sign from the universe, from your higher self or your guardian angels, that you might be dealing with any of those ancestral cause blockages and curses, traumas. And it does not matter which religion you belong from. As long as we are all humans, we can carry trauma and pass it on. But you can be the one that can break it. You can be the one who can heal from it, right? Sometimes people call you a black sheep, and that is not because you're a bad person. It is because you are the one who will be responsible for peace and change in your family. So take it as something positive. So the first step is becoming aware. See, notice things around you, things that seem weird, seem too repetitive, and they keep happening to you over and over again. This could be obviously an ancestral trauma sign. And well, if you have questions, you can obviously leave a comment and I can give you my 5 cents on that. But usually if something is repeating itself over and over again, it is because it is unhealed trauma stored. And if you feel fear of flying, fear of driving, fear of getting married, having children, intimacy, any type of fear is related in your root chakra, because it doesn't let go. It wants you to heal it, and therefore we have to take the steps necessary. So take your time, think about it, and notice things, right? So second step, we will do the cleansing ceremony, as I have stated before. And if you want to do it yourself, you can do that as well. Now with me, I can tell you that you should be having a lot of crystals in your home to protect yourself. And that is why I am protected today. I'm wearing all my crystal bracelets. And then use sage or any calming incense that smells good and you would like to have it as, some incense you'd like to smell if you would enter a holy space. It could be a mosque, it could be a temple, it could be a church, any place you'd like to enter, and you'd like that smell that makes you feel at peace. So therefore, I'm burning this Palo Santo, and it's crazy that while I'm talking about this incense is going crazy. I mean, look at this. This is burning really strong and fast. So maybe we are not alone here. Maybe my ancestors are here with us. Maybe your ancestors are here with us. Welcome, whoever is here with us. Now, before I start, I will say a prayer. It's a customized prayer. You can modify it the way I do it. It usually always helps. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to relax. And I am going to use this feather here. This is to clean and cleanse and let go of any negative energies that are surrounding you, surrounding your family members, your mother, your father, grandmother, grandfather, your daughter, your son, your brother, or your sister, anyone. Alright, so let the feather cleanse you, as a part, as a token of nature's gift to us. Right. Good. Now, I'm going to say this prayer, and I don't want to make a mistake, so I'm going to read it off. You have to close your eyes if you have to imagine your ancestor. We're going to call upon our ancestors here for healing. And I'm talking about an ancestor that you personally feel connected to. And that ancestor does not have to be a good one, a bad one, whatever your opinion is, because we don't know enough. We just have to call upon the elevated, higher ones. So, if you have a particular person who was your favorite grandmother, grandfather, I prefer then you should call them. Some people did not have the chance to meet them or spend any time with them. So, what we're gonna do is close your eyes. I'm gonna say the prayer. I call you, and you say the name. I call you to clear my pain. I call you to clear my trauma. I call you to clear my blockages on my mother and father's lines in all directions of time. So mote it be. Amen. You can keep repeating this. And just because I said amen, it doesn't mean it is a prayer from a specific religion. This is a customized prayer. It's nowhere to be found. And there are different ones. If you relate with another one, you may go ahead and choose that one. But this one in particular it talks about your mother's lines and your father's lines. And also in any times, which means any other past life, right? Because we don't know. Some people are racist. Some people are making fun of us for being different from being another culture or religion, or ethnicity. And it is stupid, because if they just knew that all of us have been everything in our past lives. I might have been African, I might have been Indian, I might have been Caucasian, who knows, right? I might have been a plant or an animal. So therefore, judgment has just no point. But that is a different topic. So I hope you feel better today. Thank your ancestors by their name if you know it. And also, this is something I suggest, and I do it myself. It is very important what kind of pictures you keep in your home, because a lot of people, do hang pictures of landscapes, abstract art, portraits. It depends really, because all those things are also connected with other energies and things like Feng Shui or Vastu Shastra in India. And one thing that is very helpful is to keep a picture framed of a beloved ancestor that you feel connected to, you can call upon to, or that represents the head of your family. Just frame it and keep it in your entryway hall of your apartment or house. And you can also take like flowers, like a beads of flowers, and decorate that, because they like flowers. All of our ancestors, because they are in a different dimension, if they are not alive at this time, like flowers and nice, pleasant incense, scents, fragrances. That's why it's always recommended to use Palo Santo or other nice scents for them while we call on them. Alright, so this was it for today. I hope you feel better, and if you want me to do similar videos on healing, there are different types of healing. I'm thinking to do more of those because I just want to serve the community, serve and give back, especially to you guys who give me so much love and support me by watching my videos. I just want to give back and hope all of us are doing well, safe, and live trauma free. So take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.